Righteous on the beat.
Hello there guys, and welcome to another one of my reviews. Today, as you figured it out already, we are testing the brand new BMW Z4. Now the Z4 is actually quite a miracle that it is still on the market. When the E89 retired, BMW wasn't really sure whether they should make a new roadster or not. The issue isn't that they wouldn't like to make one, because roadsters have been part of BMW's DNA for literally decades, but the issue was that the market just isn't as big as one would expect, with everyone today buying SUVs and crossovers altogether. So the question was, would it make sense to create a roadster from the ground up, considering how limited the market is? Well, BMW reached a logical conclusion that it wouldn't really make sense. So they decided that if they were going to build a new Z4, they would do it with a partner. Well, that partner turned out to be Toyota. BMW and the Japanese manufacturer have been working together for a number of years on a number of topics. The most important one is, of course, hybrid powertrains and fuel cell development. But the two have worked together in the past on different topics as well, and right now they joined their forces to create the BMW Z4 Toyota Supra combo. Toyota was actually looking for a partner as well to develop a new coupe, a new high-performance coupe, to bring back the Supra name. So they decided this was a good choice for both companies. That's how we got the Z4 and the new Toyota Supra. Now the Z4, the G29 model, was announced last year, and the deliveries kicked off this spring. It comes with a brand new chassis underneath that is shared with Toyota, with the B58 engine, straight 6 3-liter mill for the M40i model, which we are driving today, which is also the top of the range version for now. There are no plans to make a BMW Z4 M model, so get used to that idea. We're lucky to have the Z4 as it is. Don't complain about it, just be grateful you have a new roadster in BMW's range. Now, the thing that a lot of people have complained about is the design, the exterior design. Some have said that it isn't really a traditional BMW, but to be honest, I kind of like the way it looks. Yeah, the front overhangs are a bit longer than we're used to, the rear ones as well, so we don't have the traditional BMW short overhangs. But other than that, this is a typical BMW. On the M40i model, the M Performance version, the front kidney grille doesn't have slats anymore, but it comes with a new design, as you can see. So that's something new added by BMW on its model range, but it's not restricted to the Z4 per se. The Z4 also comes with the first headlights that have the corona rings, or angel eyes as some people call it, stacked on top of each other instead of next to each other. So that's something people had to get used to as well. I like the way the headlights look. They give this car a sharper look, and I like the way they look. I especially like the tail lights, which are slim and wide. Something you don't really see on a lot of cars these days. Combined with the wide rear end, it creates a striking effect, especially in this matte gray color. I like the wheels on this car, which are M Performance model available only, so this is an option set of rims. And the car also comes with Michelin Pilot Sport 4S, tires which are really good, and you really need a lot of grip because this is a rear-wheel drive car. BMW only offers this car as a rear-wheel drive model, and I'm actually really glad they do, because about 80% of the cars sold by BMW these days are all-wheel drive. Don't get me wrong, BMW xDrive is still the most engaging it is still the most engaging all-wheel drive system in the automotive world right now. It sends a lot of its power to the rear wheels, so yeah, it does make a lot of sense. But having a rear-wheel drive BMW is what BMW is all about, and you also have it with a powerful engine up front, a straight six that can deliver well, it can deliver different amounts of power depending on the market. In Europe, you get 340 horsepower and 500 Newton meters of torque, and that's because European models come with an auto particulate filter, an OPF. That's due to regulations and stuff. In the US, you get the same engine but with 382 horsepower and the same amount of torque. So that model is actually faster than the European one because it doesn't have that particulate filter installed. So getting back to numbers, BMW claims the Z4M will do 100 kilometers an hour from standstill in about 4.4 seconds, as you're about to see. Now the American version is clocked at 0 to 60 miles an hour in under 4 seconds. So that is considerably faster. As for the way the car drives, I can sincerely tell you that it is stiffer than I expected. Actually, BMW mentions that in its development, they wanted to create a car that is stiff and can deliver plenty of fun while you're behind the wheel. If this convertible, because you know convertibles usually are not that stiff, if this convertible is this stiff, I cannot even imagine how stiff the Supra is, given that it has a fixed roof and it is a coupe model. I haven't gotten to drive the Supra so far, but I hear from reviews that it is really stiff, and that's good for a car that is claimed to be sporty. Now, the engine up front does sit a bit more to the front than we're used to. The wheels, the front wheel, the front axle is not as far up as you would expect from a BMW. So that could be surprising, but you sit right in the middle of the car. You sit right between the front and the rear axle. You no longer sit right above the rear axle as it was the case on the older model. So on the E89 you felt as if you were sitting on the rear axle. That gave the Z4 a special feeling. On the current car, on the G29, you feel as if you sit right between the axles, which is actually what's happening. So the car has a very neutral feel. It has plenty of power in M40i mode, guys. So having plenty of power, you can actually steer the car with the rear axle. The engine is very responsive. There is a small hint of turbo lag, but it's not really that bad. It's actually pretty okay for a single turbo engine. And the car responds to your inputs very good. The steering is also something I should mention because it's very responsive, very sharp, very fast. Doesn't seem to have the same dead zone right in the center, which is actually pretty good. I had the chance to take this car on the track, and it was tons of fun. I didn't expect it to be that fun, and the engine sounds really good, as you're about to hear. This is the same engine that they use on the X3 M40i, for example, but on that car, it doesn't sound remotely as good, which is actually a plus for the Z4 and the minus for the X3. But then again, I guess different strokes for different folks. The X3 is meant to be a powerful and versatile car, whereas the Z4 is just a two-seat roadster, a roadster with two seats, so you don't have a lot of practicality. Inside the cabin, you don't have a lot of storage. You only get cup holders here. In order to use them, you have to keep one arm of the center armrest open. It's really not that practical. You don't have a lot of storage space in the door pockets either. You have some storage space here in the back behind the seats. It's really uncomfortable to use though. You do get more space in the boot than on the old model, because the old model had a hard top and the new one has a soft top, so it takes less space to store the roof when you fold it down. What I should also mention is that the new model is really lighter than the old ones, and you can feel it. You only get a choice of an 8-speed automatic gearbox with launch control if you get the sport gearbox, which is standard on the M40i model. And to be honest, this car looks and feels more expensive than it really is. The price tag for this car is about 60,000 euros. It's really not that bad. As I said, people will break their necks looking, watching you drive by. It does attract the crowd. It does have the looks to impress, and it looks more expensive than it really is. In terms of practicality, as I said, you don't get a lot of room inside, but the engine doesn't sip a lot of fuel if you can manage not to press the gas pedal too much. I mean, I'm seeing an average fuel consumption outside the city limit, driving at speeds of around 100 kilometers an hour, of 8 liters of fuel for each 100 kilometers covered, which is actually really good for a car with this amount of power, and considering I'm driving with the top off all the time. Inside the city, I saw an average fuel consumption of about 12 liters per 100 kilometers covered. Once again, that's a very decent number. I'm sure I could have gotten less, but I couldn't help myself. That being said, this has been my review of the Z4 M40i. I really like this car. It's a great sports car if you want it to be. It's not as agile as the Boxster, which is its most direct rival, but I think in terms of engine, it beats the Porsche, which says a lot about this car. It may not be as agile as the Porsche, but it has the better engine because Porsche has switched to 4-cylinder mills. So it's a personal choice in the end. That being said, I hope you guys enjoyed my review. If you have any more questions, don't forget to write a question in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button so that when I post a new review, you get notified by YouTube. So until next time, don't forget to share and like this video.